Hello again and welcome to the Understanding Narcissists YouTube channel. This episode is going to be about kind of how I explain things. It's going to be a kind of a nuance that I want everybody to it hadn't occurred to me until recently, but I want everybody to pick up on as they go through these videos. And that is that some narcissists, whatever you want to call it, are more sophisticated than others, or they're more intelligent than others. Maybe that's why. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I've just noticed that some are more layered, more subtle, more refined in the ways that they manipulate people. Some are pretty direct and straightforward, and they just say it point blank. I don't know if that has to do more with their upbringing, their narcissistic heritage, or whatever it is, their background, that kind of allows them to do that more and kind of compels them to a more direct form of abuse. They're all passive-aggressive, but it's going to come out. That's kind of how passive aggression works. So there is a difference. Like, I guess I say some narcissists are smarter than others, and so the question then becomes, how is that different? How is that a differentiating factor amongst narcissists? And why is that? What does that have to do with these videos? Well, I have always tried to take the ideas and the principles from the best narcissists I've ever seen. Because I've seen a lot of them, and some of them are pretty blunt, straightforward, cumbersome, clunky, not that great. And some are very subtle and fooling people and very kind of brilliant in their own right, in their own narcissistic way. And that has a number of points to it. That kind of raises a few points. I teach what I think is this most sophisticated and most, I don't want to say the highest level, but the kind that the raw principle that will apply to all of them, regardless of whoever they are and whoever they think they are. I worry that can impose some kind of difficulty, in that will people relate to the videos as well if I'm teaching if a narcissist is different in how they apply the principle versus someone who's much more straightforward or not as smart about it or whatever, for whatever reason, whatever it is. And I think that fear, now that I've thought about it a bit more, is unfounded, and it actually doesn't really apply. Because while I try to teach the most sophisticated thing, and those sophisticated methods do exist, they apply to all narcissists because they're narcissistic. Narcissists are who they are, and there's no margin. I kind of established a spectrum. I made a video on, are there narcissistic people and true, kind of full-blooded narcissists? And people can pick up narcissistic tendencies, but they're not going to pick up narcissistic personality traits. It is definitely a illness. It is something that happened to them, I think, when they were young. So you're not gonna be conditioned. If you're 20 years old, 30 years old, much older, you're not going to become a narcissist. That's a fate you have to deal with when you're very, very young. And by the way, if you're wondering if you're a narcissist, you're probably not a narcissist, and you're probably not watching. You probably wouldn't be watching these videos because it's not going to be of any interest to you. But that sophistication doesn't pose. I just kind of want to let everybody know that it shouldn't pose much of an obstacle. Some are straightforward, but the principles still apply. The reason I teach the most sophisticated ones is because I want people to be armed and equipped for the most sophisticated narcissists. So when you look at somebody who's really well hidden, really well concealed, has a really good demeanor and superficial cover, then you've come up, but you see these signs at some point, or really you get that feeling in yourself. You see those same things working. You're dealing with a narcissist. Now, some narcissists are better at hiding. I guess that's the real thing. Some narcissists are better at hiding their narcissism than others. They're good at manipulating others, and they may be better at manipulating others, but they're better at hiding it. And that's who I'm trying to get. That's who I'm trying to unearth. The smartest ones I've ever seen, the most sophisticated ones I've ever seen. Now we have something on our side that I kind of touched upon earlier, which is the smartest narcissists. I don't care who they are. They're still narcissists. And no matter how well they think they're working within their kind of regime, it's still an illusion. It's still not real. They're still working in that area, and it's all founded on the same stuff, and it's still not going to work. So everything I teach should apply to them equally well. And now we're talking about real narcissists, not people with narcissistic traits, which are, can be all kinds of different. But narcissists, it's a very concrete definition. If they disobey, if they really don't follow any of the things I've talked about in these videos, for the most part, the big stuff, I don't think they're narcissists. They got to have that stuff. They got to have the core things going on, that core conflict, that core illusion, even their upbringing and their background. And so take that into account and I'm going to continue to take it into account, which is that maybe there are different kinds of narcissists. And I don't mean necessarily their station in life. It should be the same regardless who they are, what their gender is. Those same things are going to apply, because as a condition of the human mind, as a disturbed, dysfunctional state of the human mind that they have, it's all those things are going to be overpowering, and they're going to be totally at the mercy of all that stuff because they don't want to admit it, but that's driving them. They have no control. It's something wrong with their brain, and so no matter who they are, how sophisticated they are, how intelligent, whatever, and especially how great and smart and sophisticated they think they are, this stuff's still going to apply because they're narcissists. And that is one thing we have going for us that really is, I think, enormously beneficial, and I'm enormously grateful for, is that yes, they're horrendously complicated, but there are some simple truths. And they're very well defined. There can be weird things where maybe you can't, certain conditions, certain situations, you can't predict what they're going to do, but you can know them, and they're so much different from everybody else. There's not going to be a whole lot of confusion. It's a very well defined disorder. Now, I don't mean to say that we know everything about it. I don't think we do at all. We know very little about it. It's really our experience that we're talking about here. I don't know what's going on in their brain, physiologically, but this stuff's going to apply. It's going to continue to apply. As to this dysfunctional state of the narcissistic mind that it's reached, and so it's going to be worthwhile, even if there are some differences in how they express themselves, which I think maybe I'll go into that in the future. The different kinds, because I have seen different narcissists and their different approaches to kind of acting on the principles and the things that guide their behavior. So anyway, I think that was sufficient for this little discussion. Hopefully I didn't go off on too many tangents, but it's just kind of a complicated issue. Thank you for watching. Like this video. If you like it, share it with somebody you think might benefit from it. Comment in the comment section below. You guys are doing so much. It's awesome. I'm going to continue to engage more in the comments because they're just so great. And I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching. Bye.